So today we're going to be wrapping this triangular shaped moonstone, and this is one that did not turn out to be very easy to wrap. I had some serious questions about whether I should continue or if I should just stop and start over, but I kind of knew that no matter what I did, this stone, because it's so slippery and because of the shape, was going to be difficult to wrap no matter what. So I did an off-center design, non-symmetrical, and I think it turned out quite lovely. So anyway, if you're interested in seeing how to work through creative chaos, I guess is a good word for it, creative chaos, this is going to be the video for you. Hope you enjoy and stay watching. Thanks. So to make this pendant, you will need flush cutters, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, and if you have them, nylon jaw pliers. You will also need 4 lengths of square dead soft copper wire. These are each 12 inches long. One probably about 6-inch length of 21 or 22 gauge half round copper dead soft wire. Maybe a few beads for 5mm beads, and a stone. Mine is a triangular stone, and it is 1.5 inches along the bottom and 1 1/4 along each of the sides. And I think I'm going to make it so that its orientation is pointing down. So this will be actually the top and this will be the bottom. So to begin, we're going to take all of our 4 square copper wires and our, let me get my glasses here, our half round wire, and we're going to begin wrapping right in the center with the half rounded flat side up against your wires. So the half round side is going to be facing outward. Okay, that just makes it nice and flush. Sometimes I like to hold the wires with my flush cutter, or not flush cutters, with my nylon jaw pliers, and then just pressing down as I go. I think I got them a little tight there. Making sure they're all laying flat. Okay, and this is going to be the V point, so I'm just going to go around several times to connect these wires in the center, and then press them down. And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use my flush cutters to cut each end right in the center here so that those can't be seen. Right, I'm just going to press those down, and right there in the middle, so I'm going to place my chain nose pliers a little off center here, and I'm going to push up to make my V shape like this. And if you need to move the wires a little bit to make them centered, that's fine. Okay. Then I'm going to open it out just a little bit more so that my stone will fit in there. Oops. Making sure it fits in there nicely, like this. And I've got a tiny little kink there, so I'm just going to try and straighten that out. There we go. Okay. And then I like to turn it to the back and go ahead and add in my little bend on that back wire, just bending it inward so that my stone has a place to sit. right from the beginning. That way I don't have to worry about it. And if you can make them a little more centered. Mine got a little bit off center there. Then that's good. Because you want it to look nice from the back as well, even though when you're wearing it, you won't see it from the back. Okay, this stone is actually pretty tall too. So I have 4 wires so that I would have enough to go up the side and then over. So we want to create, at least have one that's going up the side. It's okay if the others kind of cross over the top. And it's easier too once you get these connected in the center at the top, it's a little bit easier. So I'm just going to bend right in the center where those are going to connect. And I'm going to bring from the back view, I'm just going to bring that second to the last wire around to the side to make sure that it's captured nicely there. Okay. It can be fiddly. It can be hard to get those wires to do exactly what you want. So when you get them centered, mine are a little off center, so I'm going to bend them over a little bit more this direction. There we go. I'm going to take it from the back. Sometimes it's easier to see from the back too if you're over too far one way or the other. Yeah, this is just not going well. This might be a case of what to do when all goes awry. I'm going to take this back wire and just start bringing it around. Trying to keep these in line. Oof. Yeah. Bring it around. Okay. It's still really wobbly in there. As you can see, it wants to move around quite a bit. So I'm just trying to get them connected up at the top so then I have a little more leverage with what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna just bring that around a few times. And this is what we have so far. And as you can see, this is not perfect. But I think, you know, sometimes when you're being creative, it's okay not to be perfect and to see what comes out of it. See if you can make something anyway. But it's okay to start over as well if you want to do that. I'm just going to keep going, see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to take these wires from the front. I'm going to separate them out a bit, and then I'm going to find 3 wires from the back that I want to use as my bail. And I do have some bail making pliers here, so I'm going to use these, and I'm going to just press these around that from the side, you want it to be kind of right over the top, not too far back and not too far forward, but right over the top. And then I do still have this one that I was bringing around and around. I'm going to bring it around again to capture those. In the back. All right. And then I'm just going to trim this off and tuck it inside the bail like that. Okay, and then you can open these out a bit. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this from the back. I'm going to bring one of these ends out to the side and this one out to the side. And this middle one I'm going to trim. And using my round nose pliers, I'm going to curl it in the back. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring this small one that was one of my tails from my bail, bring it forward, and I'm going to go ahead and put one of my beads on it. I think this is a 5mm bead. And then I'm going to bring it up and around into a little curly Q. And then I'm going to bend it the other direction. And I'm going to trim it just a little bit. And then curl it so that it comes in like that. Okay, so it goes up and around and then curls inward. Then I'm going to take the other one from the other side and I'm going to curl it around without adding a bead. And I'm going to curl it the same direction. So I'm not going to twist it. I'm going to keep going the same direction so it looks a little bit different. And then I'm going to curl a third time right in toward the center there. Okay. Now we've got 2 wires on either side here. And I'm just going to take hold of this top one on the right with my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to start twisting the whole piece. And that will make this wire twisted, as you can see. And then I'm going to take some 28 gauge wire, which I did not mention at the beginning. We're going to take some 28 gauge wire. I need to trim here. And this is probably 15 inches long. Let me move some of my stuff out of the way. And I'm going to do a little weaving on these 2 wires. So we're going to wrap around the bottom straight wire 3 times. And then I'm going to wrap around both of these 2 wires twice. I'm pushing it down. So 3 times around the bottom one. And then twice around both. And then push them down. Okay, I'm going to just repeat this several times. 3 and 2. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And I leave them so they're a little bit separated, but pretty close together. All right, and I'm going to continue this probably another inch, and then I'll be back. All right, so I'm back, and I have continued about another inch. So I have about 1.5 inches of this weave, and I'm not going to trim this off quite yet, but I am going to bend this across, so it comes across, and I think I'm going to continue wrapping just around the straight wire, just doing a coil. And then I'm going to trim that off at the back. And that's kind of optional. But I'm going to curve the bottom one, which is the twisted one. I'm going to curve it around and trim it off. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers to continue making that into a nice loop. And then I'm going to bring this other one around to the back, and it's long enough for me to bring it around all the way around to the other side, where I'm going to then twist it around this direction. And what that's going to do, if yours is long enough to do that, I'm also going to trim off this top, oops, the beginning part of my weaving wire, is going to secure that stone, because as you saw at the beginning, it was still a little bit wobbly, but now it's pretty secure in there. It's not going to go anywhere. So as you work, you try to find ways to secure it when that happens. Okay. Now we've still got these 2 wires on this other side, and this one is pretty asymmetrical, which is fine. I like to do a lot of asymmetrical work. I think what I will do is bring this one around, this bottom one, and I'm going to do one curl here, just above that curl where the bead is. And I'm going to add a few more beads onto this one. And you know, you can do whatever size you want. You can make them progressively smaller, progressively larger, or you can make them all smaller. Using 20 gauge wire, so I'm pretty sure these are 5mm beads. And then I'm gonna just bring it up and around like this, up at the top. And then I'm gonna bring it around to the back, where I'm gonna trim it off and tuck it in. So I tuck that in about underneath the bail, and I'm going to take this last one and I'm going to bring it around and do a few twirls with it. Again, on this left side, I'm going to go the opposite direction though. And bring it around to the back again. Where I'm going to trim it off and tuck it in back behind all these wires, like that. Okay, so even though we had a rough start, and the back is, you know, it's not gorgeous from the back. It's not bad, but I think it turned out really pretty. So persevere, even though it may be wobbly in the beginning and you may wonder, no, is this really going to work? This is a particularly shiny stone, so it was kind of just slippery, hard to work with, and an odd shape. But I think it turned out quite well. I will oxidize it and show you the finished product in the very beginning. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks. Bye.